Welcome to the digital revolution. Today, I've got a really great topic to cover. I'm going to focus on the future of the customer experience in retail. And think of the experience, experiential retail. Joining me today, I have Al Schuster, who's the president of Polaris Brand Promotions, and also Heather Johnson, who's the director of marketing with Polaris. Al and Heather, welcome.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Al, if you could do a favor for everyone who's asking the question, Polaris Brand Promotions, what are you and what do you guys do?
Thanks, Jim. Polaris Brand Promotions is a nationwide promotional staffing and experiential marketing agency that's been around for a little bit shy of a decade now. We help brands help to promote their products and services directly to consumers and other end users nationwide, coast to coast. Our tagline is creating unforgettable experiences for your brand, and that's what our team does every day.
Perfect. Anything that Al might have missed there?
Just that our main goals are with creating unforgettable experiences. We would like to tie brands with their consumers together and introduce them to new products, their next favorite product. We have a very talented team that serves nationwide in order to activate in many different markets.
Perfect, Heather. And let's open up and talk a little bit about what you had mentioned about, tying that experience, the customer experience, and also the aspect of the retail. And the first thing I want to throw out there, why experiential retail is rising. We seem to have that shift from passive digital ads to real world engagement. Why is that so important now to have that real world engagement?
I think it's being lost. It used to be where going out to a store was a necessity. Now it's more of an inconvenience. And having that in-store experience really allows you to experience the brand firsthand. Look at all the brands together on a shelf in an aisle and really cross-compare based upon their packaging, looking at all their information. When you're doing a lot more of e-commerce and sales, you're really limited to what the particular platform, the app, the website, whatever that ranks you up highest. When you go into a store, especially when you meet one of our brand ambassadors promoting a product, you have a chance to ask questions. You have a chance to try before you buy. Liquid to lips is what we call it for our alcoholic beverage demos. But you really have a chance to learn about the brand, experience it, taste it, smell it, interact with it, to help you really decide then and there, is this a brand for me? Is this superior to what I'm purchasing now? Is it the same but the price point is better? Really understand the history of the brand. Is it a local brand? What kind of health issues? Is it gluten-free? Is it organic? Other factors where really when you engage with an experienced brand ambassador, you really make that direct human connection, which really helps drive home the brand identity.
Yeah, and when we really think with today's consumers, they really are looking for. In fact, I would say that they're craving for, discovery and even interaction, but they want to deal with authentic brands. Heather, why is it so important for consumers to, look at discovery, interaction, and also to looking for authentic brands?
Well, I think in this world as well, there's so much online that can be misconstrued. And when you are out in the field and you're talking and you're having a one-on-one conversation with a brand ambassador who can answer any of your questions, you are going to get the real deal. You're going to get the history that the company has provided from a person. So that already starts creating authentic information and sharing. And then having that personal touch is so important because, like Al said, that gets lost. Influencers are fun. Some ads are very fun to look at, but when you can actually engage and get feedback live, taste it live, touch it, whatever, it just feels more real. And then you're making a decision based off of actual data that you have just been subjected to.
Yeah, and I'd also say, too, that there seems to be very good examples of missteps that have been taken by different brands, that creating kind of a gap between the brand intention and really the consumer experience. Al, why is it so important to take that brand intention and directly tie it to the ultimate customer experience?
Authenticity, I think, is the most important thing. I heard a long time ago, what a brand is, it's a promise. When you go into a McDonald's or a Wendy's, you expect that same level of, that same experience, regardless of what one you go into. If you're buying like a Coke or a Pepsi or one of those other brands, you expect to have a certain sensation, a certain feeling, an emotional reaction. It's not just, arbitrary values like price and, like nutritional facts. You really want to connect on an emotional level to your brands. So having that sense of authenticity, I think, is really important. And whether you're engaging it through a logo, through a box design, through the taste experience itself, all of that lends into the authenticity that the consumer expects. If you put a really authentic experience out at the forefront of their purchasing decision, you're really going to lock the consumer in.
So let's talk about SampleFinder and an introduction. Al, could you tell the genesis, a story about SampleFinder?
Oh boy. All right. So I founded Polaris Brand Promotions, almost a decade or so ago. I, as well as Heather and the rest of our corporate staff, we still go out and do activations. We still go out in the field, just like all of our amazing brand ambassadors do. And we set up our table, we represent the brands to consumers. I was actually at an event, and it was a store, and it was like a split level store, like 3 entrances. And I was positioned right near the escalator, and I was doing a chocolate demo. And it was a long demo, it was a good time, but it kind of got frustrated because I'm like, 90% of the people that are coming into the store don't know I'm here. They go to what they need, they go to the register, they go back out the door. And, I kind of thought to myself, it would be great if there was a way to promote these events. Now, granted, the stores, the retail locations, sometimes they do. They might put a sampling schedule up on a dry erase board or a chalkboard. Sometimes the brands, which we call the suppliers, they will do so as well. They'll do it like on their social media or whatnot. And I thought, you have all these awesome opportunities to try new brands, to experience new things. I thought there should be like an app for this. And, the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, well, this will really help elevate our industry and really help get the word out and help kind of add sampling to the cultural zeitgeist, actually going out there and experiencing brands and getting free merch and swag. The idea was solely mine. Really, all the rest of the credit goes to Heather Johnson. Kind of spearheaded the entire lead on, on the brand identity, the development, the features, and all that. Heather, you want to jump in and talk a little bit?
Yeah,
about
I was going to say, because I also had this type of dream. So I didn't know how to ever make it work, but I've been a brand ambassador for over a decade. And I used to take screenshots of what I was going to work and put them out on a social media and be like, if you want to stop by, I'll be here for a few hours. But people would see it after the fact. I might not forget to put the time or something. So when Al was talking about this, I was like, that's exactly what we need. And there's many brand ambassadors who agree, because they also want people to come in and try the product. They're there to work, and the more people that they get to interact with, 1, the more fun it is, and 2, the more they get to share about the company. We do so much training before we go out in the field, and you want to share that training after, you're excited to talk about it. So getting more people to go out there and connect the brands to the consumers and connect them ahead as well was something that I think is so fresh about this idea and something I've never seen before in this industry. So I'm so excited to be part of this. So, the way that the app is going to work for our users is they will be able to log onto the app. There will be a list view and a map view, and they can search within their area and see what brands are having demos or activations, because it won't just cover the in-store activations. We will have it to open to anything that the brands are interested in. So if you're a brand and you're listening and you're like, well, we have this festival that we do every spring. Yes, a farmer's market can be put on there. A pop-up activation can be put on there. So when we say we're shifting with brands, we are extremely experiential, but we will also be changing it for the in-store and the retail industry as well, connecting now those stores to what the brands they have, and just get more brand awareness overall. So once they see the event and they're interested on the app, they will be able to favorite it, add it to their list of favorites. This is something that they can go back and look at their history and build a grocery list so that they don't forget, because sometimes you go and you try a sample, and unless you take a photo, you might not remember. So that will be one way so that brands can stay top of mind. A second way is that if the brands themselves would like to include a discount code, that can be available that only pops up when you actually show up to the event. So you'll see the event, you can check in at the event, you'll get a discount, creating a little FOMO here. You can only use it during that event time. And then afterwards, you can leave a review and give your feedback directly. So that's super fun because they get to be heard. And then the brands get to hear directly from who knows how many people will fill it out during one demo. So brand ambassadors usually, especially with our agency, we provide recaps after every single demo, and the brand ambassador fills it out, gives all the background information, some comments. But this is another way for the actual data from those clients and consumers who are trying it to let them know, did you buy it? What was your favorite part about it? Do you have any comments? And then after the fact, there will be this whole world of gamification that we can speak on in a minute, but it entices more people to go out and try new things.
Yeah, the most important thing we are looking to do is help to kind of revitalize the retail industry. We are launching under the hashtag Save Retail, which is on the back of all of our shirts, which we'll be giving out at CES and NRF, which we'll get into in a few minutes. The reason that we chose Save Retail is retail is not necessarily dying. It is being transformed into something that's not advantageous for the consumer. We've already seen that with e-commerce, launching of sites like Amazon. Now we're seeing it with more like grocery delivery services as well, where you just pick things off of a list of items, whatever the store or the app wants you to see at the top of the search results, that's what you see. And it really takes away from the ability to have true choice in selecting something, whether it be like meat, seafood, where you can actually pick, or vegetables. Same thing when you're in an aisle and you're looking at different types of cereal. You can kind of look at them. You can look at the packaging. You can read about them. You have everything right in your kind of field of vision to choose from, as opposed to when you're on an app and you're just looking at different search results, like, you know, the running joke that no one ever looks at the second page of Google, the search results. One thing to point out is, you know, as this happens, you know, consumers aren't going to be given as much free choice as they have now. The pain of keeping an item that maybe the wrong item was delivered or didn't turn out as you expected is going to be less than the pain of having to return it. Thereby, your choice is going to be very much limited. One example that we're seeing that's happening right now is IKEA is actually building stores where you can't take things home with you. It's great from the experiential standpoint because you can go in, you can meet with a consultant, you can kind of design your home, you can look at different options, which is great, but you can't go and actually, you know, take an item home with you that day. It has to be shipped to you. And the scary thing is where I see this going is in like 10 to 20 years, you're not going to be able to go into a grocery store and just shop around. You're going to go in and you're going to go and pick up the item that you ordered online because it's just going to be easier and more convenient just to pick a bunch of items, pay for them, and then go to the store. And I think it's really going to hurt the consumer experience, the retail experience overall. So not only is SampleFinder, the goal of it is to really help to drive growth to our industry and let people know that you can go out and experience new brands firsthand, but really convert the retail space from just a place where you purchase products into an experiential engagement space, a chance where you experience brands, not just go to buy something because it's the easiest option is just to drive to the store.
Now, typically for me at the beginning of any year, what I really get excited about is the Consumer Electronics Show. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the introduction of SampleFinder there, but not only there, but also too at the National Retail Federation. And Al, what I want to do is kind of ask you, you know, why launching at CES 2026 in the National Retail Federation, you know, why it matters for SampleFinder.
Everyone knows that CES is the place to be when it comes to consumer electronics. We're more software than hardware, which is a lot of what you see. I was at the CES the last time, well, the first time and the last time and the only time earlier this year. So, you know, really having that buzz, that excitement, I really feel that, you know, SampleFinder is definitely going to be very much a disruptor and an innovator in the retail space. And having launched this, we really want to get in front of the media who's looking for new and exciting consumer electronic related, products and services. We also want to meet with, accelerators, incubators, people who can help us connect in the industry, and really help us kind of navigate the waters of, building an app. And we want this to be successful and want to find partners who can help us to reach those goals. National Retail Federation, completely different kind of mindset there. In that case, we really want to bring our app to the retailers, to the suppliers, and show them how we can really help the retail industry and how we can bring more consumers into the brick and mortar locations, how we can offer a new and unique and exciting, gamified experience around the brands that they represent. So 2 separate shows, 2 missions, essentially 10 days. We're flying out on the 3rd to go to CES, flying back on the 10th, and then NRF is just north of us in New York City. We're in Philadelphia. That's going to be the 11th to 13th. So it's going to be exciting. 2 shows that really, I think, encompass what SampleFinder stands for, which is a revolutionary technological platform, along with a really strong retail presence, and kind of disrupting the retail space. Those shows really back to back, I think, encompass what we're looking to gain from our app.
So when attendees are going and coming up to us at CES and NRF, we are going to have a workable prototype of the app so that they can see our vision and interact with it, as well as introducing what our agency does and show why we are building this app to begin with, everything that we've done in the industry for the past 9 years, and what we're putting into the app to help bring together the clients, the users, the consumers, the retail locations, the suppliers and the distributors as well. So we're going to put on a live, we're calling it a sample hour, and we're going to show what an in-store demo really looks like. We're going to have a brand ambassador who's working with us at the trade show booth. We hired through our agency, and they will be handing out samples to all of the attendees who come over during that time, as well as introduce the prototype. They can have some one-on-one interactions with both founders, since we'll both be there. And then we'll have our additional brand ambassadors who will be there as well, showing what a brand ambassador does live, number 1. And number 2, introducing the idea of how you could find more of these samples out in the real world. Look at what you're seeing right in front of you. We know that you probably know what in-store demo is, but if you don't, maybe you haven't been in that world, just a reminder of what it is and how to find more in your area. That's what our app will be doing.
So that's great to hear about the Consumer Electronics Show and also to the National Retail Federation show as well. So let's open the next segment up and talk about how SampleFinder, how it really reinvents brand activation.
So we are bringing the ideas of activations to the consumers outside of where their locations are, ahead of the activations as well. So on their phone, they're going to have instant access to a calendar of events that are upcoming in their area. And that provides the availability of samples and the chance to try before you buy out in the real world. So first they'll see it digitally. They can read up on your brand. They'll see your logo. So we're getting some brand awareness there. And then if they choose to go to the event, they are going to get some instant gratification. There will be samples and freebies. And while doing so, while checking in at these events, they'll be able to also be getting points. So we'll have a points-based tier ranking system that will be based upon app engagement and in-person engagement. They will be able to check in at the sampling events. They'll be able to refer their friends. On their birthday, they'll get some points. They're going to get points for signing up in general. So we would like to create this availability of advancing through the tiers, as well as providing incentives such as monthly swag giveaways from our brands, accessibility to additional app features in the future, as well as brand recommendations that are based off of their current use. So using some real-time gamification to bring both the digital world of everybody's on their phone often, they can do their research ahead of time, they can see what's upcoming, add to their calendar, and then go out into the real world and engage and experience the brands firsthand. After they get through all of that, you get more points to leave a review. So that is a way that we will be able to get some of their actual feedback back to their brand partners. And Al, if you want to discuss that, I'll pass this to you.
Thanks, Heather. So in our industry, the most important thing to our clients when we do an activation is how many units were sold. That's kind of like the major metric. However, another critical component is getting recap data. Not just the number of units sold, the number of samples given out, of the number of kind of like objective metrics, but also those subjective factors. What did the consumers think? Like, what was their feedback? What did they say about it? What they did like, not like? And I think last I checked, the consumer data market is over like $130 billion industry in the U.S. alone. You can't even you can scroll on your social media, you look at something for like more than 3 seconds, you're seeing ads for it the next like 2-3 days for similar products and services. So we saw a very unique opportunity with SampleFinder to actually be able to collect consumer data directly, voluntarily, right from the consumer themselves, passed along directly to the supplier or whoever is posting on SampleFinder to get that real world input, and then incentivizing through points and the tier ranking system that Heather mentioned is actually like reward them. Like, for instance, they get 10 points for checking in, and they get 50 points for writing a simple review, a 5-star rating. You click some buttons as to what you enjoyed about it, and then you can type in some feedback. And then not only can we use that to share directly with the suppliers, with the clients, but also then we can create customized marketing campaigns around it. For instance, if you have a new, snack pretzel company, and they're like, we're launching this new product, and we do all these demos with them, and they're like, oh, we love the feedback. Can you send a special coupon maybe 2 or 3 months down the line to everyone who scored 4 or more stars, who had generally positive feedback, who liked it, who mentioned that they bought the product? And so we're creating a whole new advertising and marketing campaign that isn't just about selling names, phone numbers, and email addresses, but really finding the people who are brand loyalists, who love your brand, who went out of their way to engage with it, and rewarding them not only at the demo experience, but in the weeks and months and years to follow.
I know everyone on this episode right now and everyone watching this episode fully realize that the consumer experience is very important to everything. So Heather, let me ask, when it comes to the consumer experience and SampleFinder, what can everyone expect?
What they can expect. So our goal is to, as Al mentioned, we're refreshing what the idea of a retail experience is. And we're hoping stores will also get excited about this because of how much we are and how much we see when we are out in the world doing events. Consumers are excited when they get to actually talk to somebody, they grab a freebie, they try a sample, and they're surprised. There are so many times I've given out samples of, for example, a different type of whiskey, and somebody who's never tried rye whiskey before, but this is their chance. They do it, and then they hear more about the company, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. Actually, I never heard about this local company. I want to support them. And they feel like they're part of something. And brands themselves can't be everywhere. We understand that. But we can provide a solution where we, as representatives of our agencies or any agency that does promo staffing, because we are going to be very inclusive with this app, but also people on their phone get to learn about them and feel like they're part of the brands and have almost sort of a relationship with the idea of what the brand is. And so having retail be more discovery based versus you get what you get is part of creating this world, and we're going to be doing it nationwide. These promotional events will be shared directly with consumers all in one convenient app. So it's easy for brands to be able to reach out and find people who are interested. We're seeing already that some consumers will change their shopping patterns based on what events are happening in their area. When they know an event is happening, if they know something special is going to be happening, a launch of a new product or something like that, they're more likely to show up, especially when we have discounts that are happening live on site during that experience. So the brand exposure goes far beyond just the event itself. It creates an idea of exploration, of trying new things, maybe being on top of the next big thing, whether it's a snack or in the liquor world or in the technology world. Our brands range from food and beverage to entertainment, to hospitality. We're all over the world, literally, and we're all over the types of, the variety of activations and the variety of products and services that we promote. So having these consumers be able to have fun while they're trying new things, earn points, feel like they're being seen in a way that helps them feel like they're part of something, not just with the brands that they like, but also each other. There's going to be tier rankings, and there's going to be a little bit of a competitive nature there, where you can earn additional points if you are engaging more with the app. And on the client side, if they want to engage more with the app, they can join us on Trivia Tuesdays, which is going to be a feature where every Tuesday, the user will log on, and it's going to be a multiple choice answer. They got 5 seconds to answer, and whether or not they get it correct, they get points. If they don't get it correct, they learn something. They'll find out what the real answer is, and it could be a product that they have never heard of, and now they know your name and they know a little bit about you, and they feel like they learned something too, so that the next time they're out in the store, it's like, oh, hey, wait, I know that is actually a gluten-free vegan snack, and I know this because of SampleFinder. So it's a great way to offer everybody involved, the stores, the consumers, the users of the app, their friends, because they'll be involved, and the retail locations and any other locations where we're doing pop-ups connect. And the world of experiential marketing is growing, and it's only going to get bigger as people crave unique experiences of the types that we create with our agency.
Well, Al, Heather, you've covered so much. Now let's talk a little bit about the future of experiential retail, and also too a little bit about what's next for Polaris Brand Promotions. Take it away.
Well, what I would like to mention is that we know the real world, and getting out into the real world and going to stores is exciting and available as an option, but we also are going to tie into the digital world as well. Of course, that's just as important. So one way in which we'll do this with SampleFinder is the app has many options to be able to share directly to your friends or to your social media, to post on your story directly from the app. And if the client would like to include any hashtags or any hints at a contest of their own, we have a filled out area where they can include anything in the description. So if they have a specific hashtag that they use for their product, and they would like to have the consumer take a photo of themselves and post it on their story and include that hashtag, that is how you bring experiential marketing and the digital world together. That's how it works. And speaking of feeling a part of something bigger, that is another way where they can see other people who are doing the same thing and meet people who are on their level. Just as we meet them on their level, if they're unable to make it to the stores, they can still get the information, and they can still be associated with these brands.
Okay, so as for the future of Polaris Brand Promotions, it has always been my goal over the years to grow us into one of the premier experiential marketing and promotional staffing agencies out there. We've got an amazing core team of Heather and myself, along with Stephanie and Claudia on our operations team. We're not looking to really recreate the wheel on what we do. I think SampleFinder is really something very revolutionary and interesting. That's our main project. I will let everyone in on one little secret of something we are looking to launch within the next 6 to 12 months. We are starting our own podcast. Name we're still working on. Don't want to give away too many secrets. But what we are looking to do is basically make it an experiential marketing, a promotional staffing, a branding themed and topicked podcast hosted by Heather and myself, as well as some guests who are in the industry and who we really think will bring unique and exciting perspectives to our audiences. And we will be announcing that probably within the next 6 months or so as we build things out. And certainly SampleFinder's taken up a lot of our time, but we're really excited about it. Heather and I are to be hosting and bringing this to you.
That's great news. It's great to hear that more players are coming into the podcast universe, because there's never too many, let's say, podcasters out there. And kind of closing out this episode, Al or Heather, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you would want to leave with the listeners?
Yes, I wanted to just jump in and say that I'm so proud to be part of this team, first of all. And second of all, one thing that I love about our agency and this app is that when we create unforgettable experiences that are super unique, we are customizable, and we've seen so many different types of events. We've seen so many different activations, super, super creative ways that brands connect with their consumers. And we're excited to help you connect with them even more.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this has been an incredible journey. There is no industry quite like experiential marketing. The people you get to meet, the experiences, especially the behind the scenes things, being behind the scenes of a supermarket or a stadium, during a concert or during a sporting event. Overall, our goal is always to be the best in our industry. And between our amazing operations staff who handle the promotional staffing end of things, between what we want to bring to the entire retail space with SampleFinder and the connectivity that we want to bring through our podcast, we really think we're onto something exciting here. And I'm really proud of everything we've done, and I can't really wait to see everything that's ahead of us.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that too. And what I would invite both of you, that once SampleFinder is up and running and the train's moving and gaining speed, I'd love to have you back on as a follow-up to talk about the success of SampleFinder, and also too, maybe that podcast as well, to see how everything's going for the podcast. So I really appreciate having both of you on here. I've learned so much about this topic, and I'm looking forward, like I said, to find out a little bit more about SampleFinder. In fact, for every listener, I will have links related to Polaris brand promotions and other links so that you can take a look at not only the firm, but also SampleFinder and other additional information as well. And please feel free to share this content, this episode, and make sure that you do give it a review. And that if you're not following the Digital Revolution with Jim Kunkel, please listen to a lot of the episodes. I'm sure that I'll be able to earn your follow, and it's available on all the major podcasting platforms, and it's also available in video as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Al, and thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much.